This was last week, Thursday. The South African Council of Churches held a press conference on what it called the Unburdening Panel. The report reveals grave information on current and former government employees' role in the state capture report. According to the report, the gravity of the problem is not only at the national level, but is also seen at the provincial and municipal levels, with people claiming to have been pressured to divert funds inappropriately. Joining us from our Pretoria studios is Malusi Mpumlwana, Bishop, of course, and he is the General Secretary of the South African Council of Churches. Bishop, thank you very, very much for joining us, and welcome to Morning Live.
Thank you for having me. Good morning to your listeners as well.
It's an absolute pleasure. Bishop, this is the first time since the heart of apartheid that it seems that the church is intervening on a very important issue, which you yourself have called it. Why did you feel the need to get involved?
Well, I think there would be two reasons. The first one is that we had committed ourselves as far back as 2015 and launched this in 2016 December, a campaign we call the South Africa We Pray For, which commits to try and work for and pray for the promise of the post-apartheid South Africa that is free of, that's reconciled, just, and free of all the prejudices, as well as free of deprivation and poverty, corruption, so that we can have a just society. That's really what we wanted to do. And as part of that, we had 5 pillars, one of which is anchoring democracy, which deals with issues of helping people to understand the Constitution and be committed to constitutional democracy. And it's in this context that we also deal with the issues of corruption, maladministration, and the loss of public trust in public institutions. So we were dealing with that, but then the revelations that came out in early 2016 about the possibility of cabinet ministers being possibly recruited from outside of government became a sore point, and we referred this obviously naturally to the governing party to try and do something about it. And it was only when the governing party was not able to give a meaningful response to it that we offered what we thought was a welcome alternative, because it would also enable people that are not members of the ANC to feel they can also unburden themselves. It was really just a pastoral approach of unburdening. There was no intention to investigate anything. But the second thing that then happened is that the more we got to hear, the more we realized that the matter was actually more systemic and deeper than we had anticipated. And that's when we changed direction and went into what we call a See, Judge, Act model, which is what we normally use in any case for issues that we're dealing with at the SACC, for social issues. So the C part is the research, and for this we depend on researchers, and that's why we went into that.
Okay. So to go a little bit deeper into it, and I mean during the actual conference yesterday, and you were speaking about it, from your perspective, you said that the problem is bigger than corruption, it is chaos. That's very, very worrying. What did you mean by this?
You know, there is this, all the time we see there is this problem and that problem in government. It just looks like someone has not done the right thing. There must have been just a mistake. It gets taken to court and the court throws it out. You know, you get this ongoing, actually bad decisions. Bad decisions get made, and only to find that actually what appears to be just simple bad decisions, it might well be actually part of a pattern. And if it's unchecked, then of course it leads to bad consequences for the country.
You know, at the time when...
I should say, though, and adding...
Carry on, please, Bishop, carry on.
Yeah, I was going to say that we need to also recognize that the church has got a responsibility that we consider as a prophetic ministry. But that prophetic ministry is not necessarily always about what we call speaking truth to power. we at the SACC adopt three models of prophetic ministry. The first one is that when there's a matter of injustice, we speak up to that issue. We recognize that, but that is sort of in the model of the prophet Elijah. But we also have the model of the prophet Daniel that owns the problem, that confesses the problem, that seeks to intercede for the problem. We recognize that, truly speaking, South Africans are mainly Christian. They are more than 75% Christian. So if there's a problem in our society, it is because we as churches are failing. And therefore we have to own that problem. It's ours. We are the ones that are the major source of the sin in our society.
Yeah.
Thirdly, we also have the model. Sorry?
We remember when it was when the initial investigation was announced, and that there would be this investigation by government or by the ANC into state capture. Two people approached them, and that was former government spokesperson Themba Maseko, and I think it was also Fakey Mentor, former MP. They approached. Now, are you able to divulge at this time the amount of people that felt that they could approach you as the Council of Churches as opposed to the ruling party? And why do you feel? I mean, do you feel that within the ruling party to speak out has obviously become something that you're not able to do, and you need to approach someone like the church? So perhaps, I'm sorry, I've asked you two questions in one. How many people did approach you? Are you able to talk about the people that did come to you? And why the lack of faith in the ANC by members themselves?
Well, I'll give you three answers. The first one is that there are about 35 people actually came to talk to us. But that began even before the ANC made its call. So that's why when the ANC invited people to come to the office of the Secretary General, we were very encouraging of that. In fact, we issued a statement that was really urging people to respond to that, because we had people already come to us by that time. So the second thing is that the ANC was really only going to work for members of the ANC. You couldn't expect people who are not members of the ANC to go to the office of the Secretary General. So it was, therefore, our process was broader and therefore could take ordinary people that had nothing to do with the party per se. And thirdly, and I think this was the critical decision point for the SACC, that the ANC leadership seemed to go with the view that if they talk about this, as Minister Dlamini put it, all hell will break loose, because just about everyone has got something that could surface. So as a result of that, it seemed better, therefore, and I would imagine that's the reason why some people would not want to go there, because it seemed like it would not be fruitful. I must correct you, Leanne, that we don't have a ruling party. Our constitution provides for governing. We have a governing party.
Yeah, all right. I'm glad you corrected me. I'm glad you corrected me on my words there. Bishop, we're going to take a very quick break. We're going to continue this conversation, including what's going to come of this report that you have released, and also what you think should be done, the moral thing. Because all we're talking about lately is we're hoping people find their moral compass, but perhaps Bishop can help us a little bit. Let's take a break. We'll see you after this.